No one, no one can fool you anymore. Not the sugar-tongued liars who sprinkle compliments like poison. Not the clean-cut manipulators who smile with their teeth but stab with their silence. And definitely not the masked actors, those Oscar-worthy fakes who've been wearing their roles longer than they've worn their skin. Ha! They think they're clever, but you're not falling for the performance anymore. Because your mind, it's not broken, it's dangerously evolved, twisted by harsh truths, sharpened by betrayal, hardened by nights of silence where you faced every knife alone. What they call psychotic, you call precise. What they call crazy, you call crystal clear. And in a world built on polished lies and carefully scripted smiles, clarity looks like madness to the blind. Let them tremble. This isn't about revenge. No, that would be too simple. This is about awakening. That exact moment when you stop being the puppet and become the puppeteer. When you stop falling for words and start reading energy, when you stop running toward people and start standing still watching them expose themselves. You're not the fool anymore. You're the mirror. And mirrors? They make the masked ones panic. You've already burned the script. Poof. Gone. You've smashed the mask. You've laughed in the face of their guilt trips and manipulation. You're not just surviving. You're scanning, watching, calculating. Not paranoid, prepared. Not silent, strategic. You've become the kind of presence that speaks without a word. And when you do speak, oh, it cuts deeper than any scream. This video isn't for the ones still asleep. It's not for the crowd still clapping for illusions. It's for the ones who were lied to, used, discarded, laughed at, and still rose up with fire in their eyes. It's for the quiet warriors who now walk alone, not because they're weak, but because they're wise. For the ones they called crazy, just because they couldn't be deceived. Wow. What a compliment, right? So if you're done with the mind games, if you're done apologizing for your intuition, if your silence now drowns out their noise, welcome home. This is your world now, and in this world, the liars don't rule. The truth tellers do. The world, ooh, the world. It begins like a beautiful illusion. A shining stage glowing with spotlights and fake smiles, where everyone is handed a role before they even learn how to speak their truth. Stand here, speak softly, don't be too real. Commands whispered with sweet poison, expectations aren't handed gently. They're slammed onto the shoulders like chains dressed up as duty. It's a show, and for a while, they play along. Of course they do. They smile on cue, they bow when told, they wear masks tighter than skin. Because standing out, that's dangerous. That's how you get burned. So they perform. And the crowd? Oh, the crowd claps for the lie. Oh, deep inside them, there's a fire. Not the cute kind. The dangerous kind, the kind that laughs in the face of control, the kind that shakes behind every fake smile, screaming, "This isn't me!" It's quiet at first, until the mask starts to crack. And when it does, wow, everything changes. That precious stage they thought meant belonging, it morphs into a prison. The lights turn harsh, the applause sounds hollow. Every step in those acceptable shoes feels like walking through glass. And suddenly, the lines they memorized so well start to taste like lies. And then, boom, a decision. Cold, clear, not a breakdown, but a breakthrough. They stare down that script, the one written by society, by cowards, by controllers, and they laugh, a soft laugh at first, then louder, louder until they light a match and burn it. Page by page, flame by flame. Aha, let it burn, not because they're angry. No, because they're done. Done performing, done shrinking, done lying to themselves. They rise, all wild, unapologetic, no stage, no spotlight, just raw earth under their feet and their own breath for applause. This is not rebellion, it's rebirth. And the world? Oh, the world stares now, confused, scared. Because nothing frightens the fake more than someone who's real. They don't walk by rules anymore, they walk by instinct. They don't wear masks, they wear scars. And each scar, that's a line in the story they now write. People whisper, they've changed, they say. They're intense, off, crazy. Ha! Let them talk, let them tremble, because this isn't madness, it's freedom. The kind of freedom that sets souls on fire and dares others to wake up. The kind that looks dangerous to the ones still asleep in their roles. They don't want applause anymore, they want truth. They want the silence that follows a fake friend leaving. They want the peace that blooms in solitude. Because living adored for a lie isn't living at all. They choose real, even if it's rough. They choose honest, even if it's lonely. And now, every step they take doesn't echo in theaters. It echoes in souls. The ones still trapped behind curtains, clutching scripts they never wrote. Watching, wondering, waiting for the courage to burn their own. There's something bone-chilling about a person who doesn't flinch at the illusion anymore. Someone who's ripped the world's makeup clean off, stared into the cracked mirror of society and whispered, "Ah, there you are. No more pretending. No more performance. Just raw, unfiltered perception. And oh, that terrifies the mask wearers. The ones who've spent their entire lives rehearsing smiles, perfecting tone, painting lies so beautifully they almost believe them themselves. But this person, this dangerous, calm, unshakable force, they see through it. Through everything. They don't fall for wide eyes and warm hands if the soul behind them is cold. They don't melt when words are sweet because they can hear the bitterness hiding behind the teeth. Their gaze, it cuts deeper than a blade, quietly. No drama, no threats, just boom, instant exposure. And here's the fun part, the mask wearers don't know what to do. Oh, they laugh, but it's nervous. They smile, but their fingers twitch, because something in them knows they've been seen, truly, unmistakably seen. No more hiding behind charm, no more control through manipulation. The audience has vanished, and now it's just them and a pair of eyes that don't blink. Eyes that already figured out the ending before the scene began. This type of person doesn't scream. They don't need to. Their silence is the punishment. Their stillness is deafening. After a lie is told, they don't react. They watch. And oh, how the liar scrambles. Just one breath from this soul, and the illusion collapses like paper in the rain. No confrontation needed, no fight. Just a still presence that says, your act is over. But let's not pretend this gift came cheap. No. It was earned, painfully, carved into their bones by betrayal, forged in nights of isolation, sculpted by the knives of false friends. They were once fooled too, many times, but instead of turning bitter, they turned brilliant, dangerously brilliant. They studied every wound like a scientist in a lab. They watched. They listened. They became flawless at reading flaws. Now, they walk differently. Not with arrogance, but with precision. They don't trust easy. They don't assume good just because someone looks clean. They know the warmest hands have sometimes been the most poisonous. They've met demons in suits and angels who carried knives. Their vision? Surgical. Their energy? Unsettling. Their awareness? Unmatched. And the world? The world can't handle them, so it tries to label them cold, intense, too much. But those labels don't stick, because the truth is, they're not cruel. They're just awake. They aren't dangerous unless you're living a lie. Their very existence shakes the foundation of faith. They don't hate you. They don't want to hurt you. But if you wear a mask, you will fear them. Not because they'll expose you, but because they already saw you and walked away. Betrayal, It's not just a bad memory, it's a full-blown soul quake, an explosion beneath everything that felt safe. It doesn't knock. It kicks down the door with blood on its boots. 1 minute they're smiling beside you, the next they're the reason you can't breathe at 3 a.m. And the pain? It isn't loud at first, it's silent, creeping, cold. It wraps around the ribs like a slow, suffocating fog, and it whispers, you shouldn't have trusted them. For someone who loved raw and real, who gave without calculation, betrayal slices deeper than any knife. Not because they were weak, but because they were true. And truth always bleeds when stabbed. The world thinks that moment should have broken them. And maybe it did, for a minute. Maybe they fell, face in it, heart shattered, faith in ruins. But here's the twist the world didn't expect. They didn't fall apart. They fell away. When the blood dried, when the sobs stopped echoing in the dark, something began to rise. Not revenge, not hate, power. A new kind, quiet, controlled, dangerous. They didn't just heal, they rebuilt, brick by broken brick, scar by sacred scar. The same pain that tried to bury them, it became their blueprint, their armor, their awakening. Those sleepless nights, that wasn't weakness, that was transformation. Every why, whispered into the void, was an anvil on which a new identity was forged. They stopped chasing closure, stopped begging for honesty from people who couldn't spell it. They stopped knocking on locked doors and started building castles from their own bones. Now they move differently. Their eyes don't just look, they read. Their silence isn't passive, it's loud. Their smile, it's got iron behind it, because they've seen what's behind masks. They've held betrayal in their hands and survived. That kind of survival, it makes you untouchable. They don't hate the ones who hurt them. That would be too easy, no. They outgrew them. Their energy, it's too expensive to waste on revenge. The betrayal said more about the traitor than the betrayed. It exposed character, and they learned, oh, how they learned, to protect their peace like treasure, to walk away without explanation, to stop watering deserts, hoping flowers would grow. Now, they don't enter rooms hoping to be loved. They enter knowing they bring something rare, realness, and they'll leave without flinching if the vibe is off. Because once you've been burned by betrayal and survive, you become fireproof. The world might still see the same face, but they'll feel the shift. Their voice no longer pleads, it declares. Their silence doesn't hide, it warns. And their presence, it makes the liars sweat. They didn't become villains, they became legends. Most people, they get fooled. They hear the sweet talk, see the friendly eyes, and fall headfirst into the honey trap of deception. But this person, oh no, they're not most people. While others are swept away by charm, they're standing in the shadows, watching, not reacting, just studying. Because lies, to them, aren't just noise. They're codes, patterns, hidden landmines dressed as lullaby. And this mind, it's trained to spot every twitch, every pause, every drop in tone. When truth tries to slip out the back door, they don't just hear what you say, they hear what you don't. That fake smile, they catch the twitch in the corner. That bold statement, they detect the stutter hiding in your throat. Their attention isn't casual, it's surgical, cold, clean, deadly. When you lie, you leave fingerprints, and they collect them like evidence in a crime scene no one else sees. But don't get it twisted, this skill wasn't gifted, it was forged. Forged in the fires of betrayal, raised in the ruins of fake friendships and backstabbing smiles. They didn't become wise by accident, they bled for it. Every fake apology, every twisted truth, every trust me that led to another skull. Now, they've leveled up. They don't just spot lies, they weigh them. They measure intentions. When someone speaks, they don't nod along, they calculate. Like a chess master, 10 moves ahead. They read the room without shifting their eyes. Their instinct is razor sharp, almost psychic. Not paranoid, prepared, not afraid, armed. Because they've learned the enemy doesn't always growl. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it laughs too loud, compliments too much, reaches too fast. But every lie leaves smoke, and this one, they smell fire before it even lights. And here's what really scares liars. This person doesn't react. They don't argue. They don't shout, accuse, or play the victim. They let you talk. Oh, they let you talk. And while you spin your script, they're documenting it, line by shaky line. They don't explode. They evaporate. quietly, permanently. By the time you realize what happened, they're gone, and you're left alone in the web you thought you spun around them. You can't fool what doesn't chase. You can't manipulate what doesn't need anything from you. You can't lie to someone who already knows the truth. You're just giving them confirmation. They don't expose liars with drama. They expose them with distance. No second chances, no final words. Just gone. Like a ghost who took every secret with them. Because this mind, it's not soft. It's not naive. It's deadly precise. They don't just survive deception, they outlive it. They don't destroy liars, they leave them talking to their own reflection. And that mirror, that's the scariest thing a liar can face. They've been misunderstood more times than you can count. People look at them too long, too curious, and shiver. Cold, they whisper, heartless, scary. But it's not fear they should feel, it's respect. Because this person, they're not a villain. They're not here to watch the world burn. They're just not playing pretend anymore. And that, to the fake and the fragile, feels like a threat. They've been called ruthless for walking away, dangerous for refusing to explain, intimidating for simply watching. But here's the truth that everyone misses in their rush to label them. They don't want revenge. They want clarity. That's all. Nothing dramatic. Just the raw, uncut truth. No sugar, no disguise, no pretty words wrapped in poison. Just truth, even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. Because lies rot everything from the inside. This person doesn't crave chaos. They don't want to fight. They're not here to clap back or burn bridges for fun. No. Their silence is not aggression, it's demand. A demand for honesty. A demand for something real in a world of filters and facades. And when they walk into a room, the liars flinch, not because this person raises their voice, but because they don't have to. Their presence is a mirror, a terrifying one. You look in and see exactly who you are. That's why people get nervous. That's why the room stiffens when they walk by. They don't call anyone out. They don't expose. They don't yell. They just see. And that's enough to unravel the most polished performance. What truly sets them apart isn't rage. It's restraint. Oh yes. Others want revenge. They want spectacle. But this soul, they want peace. Not the fluffy kind. The kind that comes when you choose silence over shouting. Stillness over drama. The kind of peace that says, I saw what you did. I understand it. And now, I'm gone. They don't engage in games. They don't chase explanations. They don't wait for apologies that would be fake anyway. Instead, they disappear. Like smoke in a room full of mirrors, their absence becomes the loudest scream the liar has ever heard. A chilling silence that says, you're not welcome here anymore. That's not revenge. That's mastery. And maybe, just maybe, what truly unsettles people is that smile. That slow, knowing Joker smile. Not one of madness, but of understanding. A grin that says, "You think I didn't notice? Oh, I noticed everything. I just chose not to play." It's not a threat. It's a farewell. A soft, smirking goodbye to the liars, manipulators, and emotional pickpockets. They aren't waiting for closure. They are the closure. They don't need to destroy you to heal. They don't need your guilt, your apology, your explanation. They just needed to see clearly, and once they did, the game was over. Not with a bang, but with a smile and a vanished shadow. Because some warriors don't fight with fists or fire. They fight with distance, with restraint, with truth. And in that truth, they become untouchable.